in Acts 7:43. This star of your god, Remphan. Everyone just assumes that this star of your god, Remphan, means the six-pointed star. Everyone believes this. But there is no direct link between the two. Definitive link between the two as a six-pointed star. And yet, everyone just promotes, castigates, and criticizes and assigns blame and all these things, all negative, saying that this Remphan is this, and that it is Saturn. And that it is Saturn. When, yes, the derivations of the word Satan come from Saturn, only because the word Saturn means enemy in Sanskrit. And the ones who don't want the discipline in their life, they turn it as enemy, so they make everyone say the word Saturn, which means enemy. When the Hindus call it gold, because discipline gets you out of this rat's maze. Well, I'm trying to figure out where this word Remphan comes from. This is the King James Version. Call it Remphan. Here in the New International Version, they call it the Star of Rephan. Rephan. New Living Translation, Star of Rephan. English Standard Version, Rephan. Berean Standard, Rephan. Berean Literal, Rephan. King James Bible, Remphan. New American Standard, Star of your God, Rompha. Rompha, as in rhombus, Rompha. But Christian Standard, Rephan. Holman Christian, Rephan. Only the King James calls it Remphan, and yet everyone calls it Remphan. English Revised, Rephan. Webster's Bible, Remphan. But Weymouth is Rephan. Majority Standard Bible, Remphan. Word English Bible, Rephan. But there is one translation we should all go back to. We're going to go to the Orthodox Jewish Bible. Gevrot 7:43. I don't speak Hebrew, forgive the pronunciation. But in this, they have it as, you also took up the Ohel of Moloch and the Kokhav of your god Rephan. Rephan. So it is not Remphan. It is Rephan. Okay. Thank you, Sir Francis Bacon. Now, this not being the star of Remphan, is it the star of Rephan or Rephan?
A good question. Let's find out.
Rephan. Summary. Meaning unclear. Etymology. Unclear. Rompha. Remphan with an N. This here is Remphan with an M. Two M's here. Two M's. And then there's Rephan in the Greek. The name Rephan, Remphan, or Rompha occurs only once in the Bible, namely in Acts 7:43, where Stephen quotes Amos 5-6 while addressing the Sanhedrin. Whether our translated version in the Bible speaks of Rephan or Rompha depends on the source this translation uses, because both versions, spelled variously as Rompha, Remphan, Rempham, and Rephan, occur in Greek texts with comparable frequency. Whether we prefer Rephan or Rompha, we're not wholly certain to which deity this name belongs. Rephan, Bible Hub. Rephan is the name mentioned in the Bible in the context of idolatry and the worship of false gods. Okay? Here's Strong's Concordance of the Greek Remphan. Remphan. Word origin. By incorrect transliteration for a word of Hebrew origin, Kayun. Remphan, i.e. Kijun, an Egyptian idol. Remphan. By incorrect transliteration for a word. See, a word this important and no one knows where it comes from. No scholar will tell you where it comes from. They can tell you archaeology, they can tell you about things that happened many years ago, but they can't find where this word comes from. A single word. Let's see if I can solidify something in your mind. This is a divisional chart. Please see my other videos describing this, as well as the D7 specifically. Here is the top triangle. You have Aries and Pisces matching. Aries and Pisces matching. Aries and Pisces. Right here, this is ruled by Jupiter and Mars. Down here, you have Cancer with Cancer, Leo with Leo. Forgetting these two here in the D9. But in the D7, in the 7 layer, D7, you have Cancer to Cancer, Leo to Leo. This is Sun and Moon, or Moon and Sun. Then on this side, you have Scorpio to Scorpio, forget the Pisces. Then you have Sagittarius, Sagittarius, forget the Aries. And these two are also Jupiter and Mars, but in this time it's Mars and Jupiter. So in this trine, you have the Jupiter-Mars, Jupiter-Mars, Sun and Moon, or Jupiter-Mars, Mars and Jupiter, Sun and Moon. This is these associations in this upper triangle, which is fire and empire. This is action and empire, along with the sun and moon, along with soul and mind. And notice this is in red. Now the downward triangle here, okay, down here at the point, you have Virgo and Libra, with Virgo and Libra, and then Virgo and Libra. This is Mercury and Venus. Now going up here, you have Taurus and Gemini. Here you have Taurus and Gemini, forgetting the Virgo and Libra here. But this reflects the same point, the same way these reflect the same point that it comes from, the anchor point. That triangle is anchor point. So this is Taurus and Gemini, which is Venus and Mercury again. Opposite. This is Venus and Mercury. This is Mercury and Venus. Meanwhile, at the last point, here you have Capricorn and Aquarius. And with the point of the Virgo Libra main point or anchor point, you have Capricorn and Aquarius again, which are the two Saturns. So right here, you have the anchor point, Venus and Mercury, going to Venus and Mercury, going to the two Saturns, going to Venus and Mercury. Now up here you have Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter and Mars going to Jupiter and Mars, going to Sun and Moon, which Sun and Moon are opposite of the two Saturns, even on the zodiacal wheel, where Saturn has its two signs in an undivided house, whereas here are the two signs, Sun and Moon, which only have single ownership. So the dual ownership of Saturn is against the single ownership of Sun and Moon, whereas every other planet has two signs that it owns, but not in a tandem house. They are in opposite sides of the zodiac around these 2 points here. So in this axis you have Jupiter and Mars and Mercury and Venus, Venus and Mercury and Mars and Jupiter, as well as the two Saturns against Sun and Moon. Then also you have the complete top triangle. This is the sign of your creativity, of your inventiveness, and your legacy as far as children goes. Because children is what's created by those who have no sense of creating something of their of artistry in their heads, besides what you create of yourself, like an artistry. You create children. Now this was taken over by the Babylonians, because this D7 represents your children, which is what the Babylonians go after. The Babylonians, who are pretending to be some other people, this is what they're going after. But it's not really about that. It is a stolen icon.
The sacred act of creation. I'm going to ask y'all a question. When you see this symbol, what do you think of? Do you think of Israel? Do you think of the Star of David? What if I told you this ancient symbol predates Judaism by thousands of years and was used in many cultures all across the world, from Ethiopia and India all the way to Japan? In Hinduism, this symbol is a combination of two opposing forces, the upright triangle representing Shiva, the divine male energy, and the downward triangle representing Shakti, the divine female energy. When combining these two, you get shat-kona, representing creation, i.e., children.
The yantra of Subramanya is a 6-pointed star, shat-kona. The upward pointing triangle is that of Shiva, and the downward pointing triangle is that of Shakti. The upward pointing triangle means when the energy is moving to a higher dimension. Yeah, the subtler dimension and the manifesting dimension both have to meet for a skanda to happen, which means that when your life is aligned in the outer world with purpose and inner world with wisdom, and when both of these come together, that is when the power of skanda is released in one's life. That is the significance of this great deity who is also called as Muruga, Subramanya, Kartikeya, Guru, Guha. The Shat chakras that represent various blocks within us when we are not aligned to what it is meant for. How can I unblock my energies to seamlessly become like that empty flute through which this grand music of life can play? That is Subramanya. That is Kartikeya. That is Skanda. That is Guru. That is arriving at Rama.